My name is Lara Briozzo. This video is about the transformation game. Maybe you know it, maybe you have never heard of it. The best way I can think of explaining what it is and how it works is to do it together. Really, a 5 minutes game. What I can tell you up front is that it's a table game. You can think of Monopoly. Only this is aimed to know yourself better, to achieve something, something you desire, a goal, and to do that with a series of inspiration and stimulants from the game itself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shortly, concisely play the game with you in this video, using as an objective something a bit really simple. Actually, you can actually focus on improving relationship, getting clarity on certain aspect of your life, achieving certain goals. But in this case, I'm gonna work with a really simple goal, managing to make a good video. My objective is to make a good video to explain the transformation game. So the way the transformation game works, I will show you. There is a table you work on. Then this is a great moment to tell you that the transformation game is played with 4 players and 1 facilitator eventually. That can be a 5th person. That's what I'm doing. The reason I'm making the game is because I want to facilitate groups. I want to make this kind of game available to people that want to work in little groups to achieve goals. When you play, you get assigned one of these section, and when you play the game, you move in this section, you throw a dice and you move in this section, and every step has, of course, a significance. We're not so much working with all the kind of steps, we are working with a few of those in this case. So you set an intention. This intention is also checked in the game, because you can get from the game some kind of feedback if your question is sharp enough, relevant enough, or if it needs some adjustment. The way the work it's done, the way you get this feedback, it's a bit in the same way you get feedback when you work with tarot cards. It's like your unconscious can communicate with you by you choosing from a deck of cards, for instance, without checking. There is a kind of quantistic mechanism that allows you to pick the right card that has something relevant to tell you in that moment. So my goal is to make a good video to explain the transformation game. In the game, it's worked in 4 steps. The first is the physical level. So the first part of the game is on a physical level. When you have achieved certain results, the physical level is considered complete, and then you move to the emotional level, and you do exactly the same. You keep playing, and by playing you acquire awareness token, angel, and there are rules that make that to a certain point you can move to the next step. These, of course, are rules that match completely with your actual need. You will find out with the same principle of your unconscious being able to communicate with you and your whole system working together with you. Your system, your psychic system, your unconscious will use the game to help you gain insight. After the emotional level is the mental level, and the last is the spiritual level. Important to say, the game is not finished when you reach the spiritual level. I personally had great games where I stayed the whole game on the physical level, or I got only until one of the first or second afterwards. It's about gaining awareness. It's about transforming something in a way that you look differently at your problem. So the very first thing you do is choosing a protective angel. So I'm going to choose a protective angel for me that is going to help me. Oh, I feel this is education. Education. So I can interpret this in different ways. This is up to me. What does... if I look at this, the first thing that comes to mind is that the transformation game is created, produced by the community of Findorn. And the community of Findorn also trains people, gives education on how to use the game. At the same time, the game is freely available for whoever wants to buy it. I know a lot of people that have it and they've never done the course, but they can play it. The reason why I offer these to people, even not having had this education, is because I'm a therapist. I have a practice for psychotherapists. I have a lot of year of experience also of coaching, and I've done this game with people. And I know that my skills and my experience playing the game with my with friends or just alone, it's really a solid base. The game plays itself. So you can actually buy this game and play it alone, and you will get amazing results. Playing it in a little group helps you. The energy of the groups, the feedback that other people may have, it's just enrichment. It's amazing, and you will notice in a certain way the process of the one member of the group will synchronize with the other members of the group, and there's going to be some kind of group growing. There's going to be themes that are for everybody relevant. So I think this is what this angel means to me. That on one side, that's being aware that I'm actually using this as a tool to offer a therapeutic and coaching settings for little groups to work together, and with enough respect for the game and for how it was created, and keeping in mind what I know out of my experience. So you see, this is a really peculiar. You could also have said, oh, this is a sign that you should not do the workshops because you are not educated. I feel this is just a reminder. I think this is just a reminder of who I am and why I do what I do with this game. After you chose your angel, you're gonna fill in an unconscious envelope, and the unconscious envelope contains a certain number of life setbacks, life insights, and angels. So I'm gonna look for the life insights because I have to be honest, I feel slightly challenged by this angel of education. It feels it's activating my inner critic a little bit. So I want to see what the setbacks. I'm gonna face it up. I'm just gonna face what the problem is, and one card is falling from the deck. This is also something that really often happens when you play with this kind of thing. My life setback. You are set back by your worry on your present level. So I get this card. I acknowledge that I'm not specifically educated to do the transformation game, that I do it. I use this tool to do therapy, what I know how to do. But there is a little insecurity also having something like that in a video. It's really, I feel suddenly really vulnerable. I get a life setback, and the setback says you are set back by your worry on your present level. So what it's saying is that you are, in the measure you are worrying about what this means, you set yourself back. So the part of me that sees why I do it, that uses this to bring the focus really clearly, I use the transformation game as a way to do therapy and coaching, it's okay. In the measure, the part of me that says, ooh, maybe you shouldn't do these kind of things. You shouldn't make videos and, let everybody knows you're using the transformation game. You don't have education. This card is telling me this second part of you is setting you back. So that's how challenging the game can be, because it's just telling you how it is. Now I'm gonna choose a life inside, and the life inside is turning around immediately. My personality is radiant with faith, and I feel we are still talking about the same thing, because in the measure I have faith that a group of people with a clear objective can come together, play the game under my facilitation, and have a great experience, my personality radiates, and I can give the best of myself to support you playing the game. Then an angel, another angel, because you have the first protective angel, and then you have, let me explain this. When you begin the game, you choose a protective angel, you play to see if your goal is sharp enough, and then you roll the dice. The first time you roll the dice to find out how many setbacks will need to go on your envelope, and you will choose that number of setbacks and put them in the envelope without reading them. Then you roll the dice again, and you do the same for life insights, and again you choose the number that you are assigned by the dice and you put them inside. And then the third time you roll the dice to know how many angels you're gonna get. Now I'm just gonna choose one angel, and I'm gonna read it immediately because I'm playing the game in this really short version just to show you how it is. And it's getting really interesting because I'm getting already a lot of feedback. And I see an angel that wants to come out. Strength. So to me it feels like it says, yeah, you are making a video about the transformation game, you want to do workshop about the transformation game, and yes, you do not have the education in the transformation game specifically. You are have the education in psychotherapy and coaching, but you do have experience with the transformation game, a lot of it. And if you leave aside the worries and you have faith, you can use your strength to do it and to also make a nice video, because that was my objective. So that's how far I am. Something else I want to share. So that's how you fill up your unconscious, personal unconscious envelope. When you start to play the game and you start to work with the scorecard, you come across awareness token as you play, and let me show you the kind of section you find in your path. They can be appreciation life square, they can be miracle life square. I'm not going to tell you exactly what they are, but the titles I think can be quite inspiring in understanding what it could be. Transformational life square, intuitive flesh life square, depression, insight, setbacks. These, of course, the inside and setback, this is where you get out of your envelope your insight of setbacks. And then we have reminders, service, free will, and blessings. What happens when you play is that you get awareness tokens. So the awareness token that go on the scorecard are in the 4 color of the scorecard, and are colored also in the sense of they are relative to that realm. So physical scorecards have physical awareness token, and I'm gonna take 2 out of these. I keep the things. These few of these material will go on the playing table. The awareness token, I normally keep them in their little boxes in the box, but that's, you know, if you come and play and you really would like to have them somewhere else, I think we can negotiate something. Let me choose to start with, choose from the physical scorecard. So choose physical awareness token. The first one says embrace. The second one, boundless energy. Your intuition when you get something like that is so important. And what my intuition is telling me to put them next to the other so that I get almost a sentence, also almost an oracle message, embrace boundless energy. And if I think on a physical level, the transformation game, the kind of experiences that I had, that I've seen other people having, it's absolutely embracing boundless energy. It is really infinite. What can be, what can happen, what can become clear to you by playing this game is a really, as many things that are really simple in their nature, they have a way, a really soft way to just come and touch you exactly where you need to on your soul and give you exactly the kind of feedback that you need. And because you get it from a game, you get it from a set of cards where you choose, you put your hands to choose, it's so much easier to accept things. So I have, on a physical level, embrace boundless energy. Now I'm going to choose directly. I'm not playing the game, of course, but I'm going to choose also from the emotional realm so that you get a sense also of the different quality that awareness token have on different scorecards, on different level. Here I have childlikeness, cheerfulness. This is at the emotional level, so it feels childlikeness and cheerfulness. It feels like an invitation to enjoy, to relax and enjoy the beauty, the playfulness of the game, because it is a game, and you roll dice, and really often you don't get where you want to go. You have to be confronted also with the game playing against you, you could say. So embracing that and being able to embrace it as a game that challenges you and react as a child would react. You know, adults sometimes when there is a setback, they can feel disempowered really quickly. And we can learn from children that really often can have this reaction to setbacks like, yeah, do you want to see what I'm able to do if you play against me? And they go twice as powerful towards their goal. It feels like this is an invitation to embrace the cheerfulness of childlike attitudes. And I really like it. And I will put all this together at the end to give you an idea of the kind of impression, the kind of result, the kind of material you can collect around an issue or a question you have. Now I'm going to choose awareness token from the mental level, and I have assistance and expectancy. And I notice that I'm slightly, I understand this less. That can happen. And what you do then is, if you are in a group, you can ask for feedback. If people know you or they know you from having seen you in the game, they may have some questions, something, you know, maybe an hypothesis about what this could mean to you. But it could also be that, assistance. Do I need assistance doing this video? Yes or no. It doesn't say you need it. It could also be you don't need it. But I don't recognize this on a mental level. Expectancy. It is something, as I'm recording the video, this feels like a new project, something I feel a certain amount of expectancy. I'm looking forward to see how this will unfold. But my most important reflection about this is that I normally am much more stuck on the mental level. I'm much more busy with the mental level. That for once the mental level is the one that is less clear to me, I find it really nice. I think it's really positive for me personally. I say this to show you also how nuanced the way you receive tokens and you receive everything in the game can be. Let it come inside and notice what happens in you when you receive a tokens. What happens in you when you receive a setback, an angel, or a life insight. The game plays with you. There is a lot of freedom. The very first time I played this game, what I discovered is that there were a lot of rules about how you play games and what you are allowed to do that were absolutely not applicable to this game. And the person that facilitated the game for me then helped me see that I can check the rules. Sometimes there's really few rules and a lot of freedom to move. And this is one of those cases. And by using this freedom in the game, you end up discovering space you can use also in your life. You may find out that some limitations are more from the inside than from the outside, and that there's more option that you think. So that's one of the many beautiful things, the first one and the most important that I've learned from the game. Now I'm gonna choose as the last two tokens from the spiritual dimension. And here I have responsibility and security. And associated to spirituality, I read into it that I'm really glad to take responsibility to make it really safe for people to play the game. And that probably there is some kind of also screening, some checking. If I put together people that don't know each other, maybe there is some screening needed to make sure everybody is safe. Okay, so now I got a lot of information. It started with my protective angel education. And then I got a setbacks that says when you worry, you are setting yourself back. And I was in that. I was actually worrying a bit about this angel of education. I was not sure what he was saying. And here it says, when you have faith, you are radiant. And here I understood, I just have to have faith that this idea I had, this game I want to bring to other, it requires some more faith, but this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. And the confirmation came from the following angel that was strength, like you have the strength to do this. And then I got the token. I chose token, and on a physical level I got embrace boundless energy. On an emotional level, childlikeness, cheerfulness. On a mental level, assistance and expectancy. On a spiritual level, responsibility and security. And now I have this really nice, all these inputs about how actually I can make sure that my goal is reached, making a good video about the transformation game. I personally have a lot of, I think, what I take out of here is that it's a really personal process that I think it's not strange. I understand now why I chose to present this game, playing the game with you. And I'm doing this in one take. I'm not trying many times. And because I want to be as authentic as possible. And I embrace the fact that this game can can also bring you feedback that you may be slightly uncomfortable about, and that's okay, because that's also where you get confronted with, okay, what do I do with it? Where are the talents I want to use to face this in a way that I can grow and I can become more and more myself. I can learn about myself. And at the same time, getting back in touch with that childlike attitude that can do anything, because they believe they can, so they can. You know, that quote about the bumblebee, that physically they say the bumblebee should not be able to fly, it's too big, but no one ever told the bumblebee, so the bumblebee keeps just flying. And on a mental level, assistance and expectancy, that I still feel I don't completely understand, and it is okay. On a spiritual level, responsibility and security. So yes, a spiritual level, but also really grounded, make it really secure, take responsibility to make it really secure for everybody. When you are at the end of the game, you are not done yet. Let me see what it is. Yeah, it's here. There is this really nice next step in transformation that's with 5 stimulants. The key insight for my next step. So I get once more, I choose a card from the life insights. So what's the insight that I take with me? And there is already a card that wants to come out. What is the insight that I take with me to go further, to go to the next step on reaching my goal, making a good video about the transformation game? Your sense of joy and fun brought a breath of fresh air into a stuffy and all too serious conversation. Okay. I recognize this because I decided to do this really quickly, really joyfully and playfully. It's something I've been thinking for a long time, but the moment I decided to do everything, it's happening really quickly, and it feels like keep going like that, it's okay, and I can put it on my next step chart. And then there is a setback. Watch out for this weakness or possible limitation which might set you back on your path. So I choose a life setback, and I see what I have to be careful. What could become a weakness? And I see, no, so there was a card coming out. Now there is one coming out here. You are set back by your criticism on your present level. My criticism, it comes in the sense, I read this as inner critic. I've been feeling a lot of my inner critic doing this video, putting myself out there with all my setbacks, insights and awareness token. And what the game is telling me is that be really careful, don't let your inner critic stay in the way of realizing this nice project. Thank you. Thank you, game. And there is another life insight that I can choose. Use this inner resource to dissolve and clear this barrier. So this is really nice. I am shown which one could be a setback, a barrier, a weakness, and then I get immediately a life insight to support me with that specific thing. And here I get, your openness, trust and love for everyone enables others to share themselves fully and safely. This is beautiful. I have to read it again. So on one side, the game says, be careful for your inner critic, because you're bringing the key insight for the next step was your sense of joy and fun brought a breath of fresh air into a stuffy and far too serious conversation. And then be careful for your inner critic. And to support me against the inner critic, it says your openness, trust and love for everyone enables others to share themselves fully and safely. So my openness, so maybe also doing this video, being so open and so present with what's happening as I do the video, says the game will enable you to be fully present to the game and to feel safe and to achieve being that, to achieve your insight and to understand what your next step is. It's beautiful, really beautiful. And then I'm a bit moved I'm a bit, yeah, I'm touched. But it feels like doing a video, I cannot just take a moment to be touched. So I'm gonna go further, and the fourth step is allow an angel to support and inspire you on your next step. So I'm gonna choose an angel that is gonna help me with this. Oh, this angel wants to come. Forgiveness. I got a lecture about forgiveness yesterday, and I'm a bit, wow. There's something really deep triggered here that has to do with my inner critic and also really personal. Let's just say that it doesn't feel also really relevant to you and your process. That's why I don't share it. But I'm touched again, and it's more about what I feel is important is the relationship between me in my radiant, open, loving self that facilitate the game and the inner critic. This relationship needs some harmonizing. And forgiveness, I read it here in its essence of letting go of the negative emotion that connects you with the other. So in that light, I'm really, really grateful for how much clarity this short game brought to me. The fifth step is welcome your angel, note any message. How will you put your awareness into action? Write down your next step here. So my next step is gonna be to put this video online and to invite you to come and play the game with me. I'm so looking forward to do this with your theme, with your question, and to be able to witness you enjoying the unfolding of insights, clarity, and general well-being associated with feeling that there is more and more space, more and more option, and more clarity about how to proceed towards the achievement of what you want to accomplish.